Hey everybody, today we're going to do a video on Alden's Landscaping that shows what I do this time of year in the fall in New Hampshire. Um, the last probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4 seasons, I've worked right up until snow flew because the housing boom in this area was just crazy, and I stayed busy because of it. I actually had stuff on the schedule right up until snow flew. Just, it's not good because then you don't get your snow stuff ready to go. Two of my tractors get converted over to plow blades and stuff like that. I like greasing, cleaning, touching up the paint if there's any damage, stuff like that. The last 2 years I fought to do that. Same with the trucks. I go through them if they need brakes. I get them ready for winter. Oil undercoat them and all that stuff. All new fluids. So this year I scheduled myself light and got done with. Right now I'm already done with my scheduled work. I do have work coming in. This video is going to show the stuff I do. Some of the stuff I've been doing I haven't been able to tape. The people don't want it taped, but I've done some granite steps the last couple weeks and stuff like that. Weren't able to tape it, so I'm going to show you. I have piles of stuff I bring home over the course of the summer. I have a few extra lots. If it's loomy, I put it one area. It's got a lot of leaves in it, I put in another area. This time of year, if I have time, I normally try to screen it. And I have loom that I sell for like someone that wants to put grass in. I sell more what I call garden loom. I normally only screen to like 2 inch, inch and a half. Right now there's an 1.5 inch screen in there. So I screened some of the loomy stuff, and I got a pretty good charge of loom ahead of me for the garden soil next year. I will mix that with manure probably before it freezes this year. And behind me you'll see a pretty good charge of gravel. That may not look like much to a lot of people, but that's a lot of deliveries for me next year, 1-ton deliveries. And I also use that mix if I'm doing big trees. I dig the hole out normally 3 or 4 times the size of the root ball, and the outside of that root ball I use that. Well, I use loom, but a third of the hole will get filled with that just so it's soft for the roots to go into. And then I put loom. It's not like 3/4 it's 3/4 gravel, but there's not a lot of 3/4 rock in it because it goes through my screener. But like I said, I'm going to use that pile. That's probably what I need for next season. And I got it by just screening the crap I dug off this last job. But I also needed some of this dirty rock to retain a bank on another job I'm doing. It's on a wood line, so they don't really care. They just don't want it washing out. Because it would go down towards a lake and then everybody gets in trouble. So rather than use big dollar erosion stone, I just been bringing this in, and that will weed up and look more natural in a few years with the erosion stone all granite like that. They wanted something that within 2 or 3 years would just go back to looking like a natural edge of a bank. But I've got quite a bit more of this off that job. Use that for, I do a lot of trail systems through people's land and down to the lakefront if the house is way up away from the lake, and that's a good trail system base that they can drive a side by side or a 4-wheeler up and down. The other stuff, this is the other, that's 3/4 processed gravel in the corner and 3/4 reground hot top. Just getting real pricey. So like I said, I started screening my stuff pretty much when I bought that screener. I bought it originally to do a job that had real sandy fill, and we had to separate the rock the year I bought it, which was quite a few years ago now. But I just found, you know, you screen loam. This is the stuff off that job that was gravelly, and that's a pretty good charge of garden soil. I got loam that came off from it. So, and I still got a pretty good deposit of the loam up on another lot. The loomy stuff that I took off that job that I got to screen. So I'm going to have a pretty good charge of material for next year by just screening it off the jobs. That's probably all I'm going to put there. That's a small area that I keep it in. I stacked it about as high as I want to. It really don't look unsightly. We're going to try to let the tree line grow back in. But the bottom part of this I keep mowed in pretty good shape. So, but I just figured I'd show where we're at. I did that on the last couple days was kind of rain on and off. So the bad point about that is it's pretty wet when I put it there. So it's going to freeze up. That'll probably be froze pretty far in the spring in the middle, or in 4 or 5 feet. You have to dig into it to get soft if I start something, a project early. But I just figured we'd take a shot. Today I'm just out and I'm coming up with a pretty good pile of crap real quick. Yesterday, this looks like bank run gravel, but there's a couple ditch lines in this development where the land is a hillside behind it, and that hillside basically falls down into the ditch line every year, so you dig it out. So that looks like bank run gravel. This stuff here actually has a lot of rock. I want to try to get out of it for a rock wall stone, so that's why I'm screening that. This stuff that's sandy looking will screen. So you mix a little bit of this into that, which has kind of got a lot of clay in it, you'll end up with a product like this. This is still a little bit sticky, this end of it, but this has got a little bit too much loam and organics in it, so I'm just keeping this as a base soil. I think I've got this sold. I got a guy that I've got to do a job for next year, and he's got to be planting some trees, so he's got to fill in his backyard basically, and he doesn't want to do it with sand. And this will be a good base. This is a pile I keep, and I sell this as garden soil, and the bulk of the loam I sell is for basically garden soil, raised beds and stuff like that, so it doesn't have to be 1/2-inch screen loam. I've mixed a little bit of manure in that when I was screening it, and what I'll do is I'll pile that up a little tighter. And I got another pile I'm going to be screening, I think next week, that I'm going to screen the 1/2-inch. And what I want to do this year is I want to cover this with a black top so it doesn't weed up so bad. I'm going to say two weeks ago I turned this pile up pretty good because of the weeds that were in it, and it's fall and it's weeding up again. So I think what I'm going to do to solve the problem is just cover it with a black top and keep the front open where I'm digging into it, and rather than have to twist it in every fall, get rid of the weed problem and whatever else is growing in it. But when you put the manure to it, you end up with a lot of, it just turns green. And as soon as spring came, I'd say in 4 weeks that pile would look like a green blob of grass. So I don't want that happening again this season. So we're going to try the 6 mil plastic and see how that works. If that doesn't work next year, I'll probably use a heavier top. So, but these are some of the things I do, and some people ask me questions sometimes, asking me like, every day is like a construction job. No, this time of year it's working out good too, because I've dealt with my firewood a lot easier. I got basically 2 more cord to deliver that's dry, and that I'm calling it for the year with that. I only sell dry firewood, so everything else that gets processed from this point on just going to get stacked on the fence line. All these piles you see in the back, the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, as I can afford it, I'm going to have them stockpiled. That pile of gravel, that's processed gravel behind the MX tractor, and that's reground hot top to the right of it. That pile of regrind, it's like right now I'm having a hard time finding it. I've had a guy I've been buying it from for like 5 years, and I like it. It's a good mixture. It hardens back up pretty good. Other people have it, but they put everything in it. They crush cement, bricks, so you don't get just hot top. You get a mixture of, they still call it regrind, is what we call it in New Hampshire. But I sell a lot of that, and I use a lot of it too on jobs. And I also, that's 3/4 gravel that's in the back is what they call a processed gravel. It's made to certain specs for the state. The state buys a lot of it from the guy I buy it from. But I like having a pretty good stockpile in the fall, so I know I'm ready to go in the spring. When I was younger and first started this business, I mean, there's times in the spring you have to come up with like 8 or 10 grand just to get the ball rolling, get material. I like having this stuff here. Another thing, I think I'm going to be ditching the road where there's more of this type of material. If the budget's there for another road committee that wants me, it looks like a gravel bank. What I'll get from that is I get that round rock erosion stone, and I'd like to get enough to where that pile's got, I'd like to make that a 25-yard pile anyways. The erosion stone, I'm trying to get away from using this bigger erosion stone because it's just harder to deal with, and most people, it makes the front of your property look like a bank if you get too crazy with it. I've been using more of the smaller erosion. This is considered, I believe, 5 to 6 inch. That's considered 3 to 5 inch. So I'm going to try, I'll probably get a little bit more of a small stuff. This stuff here I'm going to try to phase out of, I think, just because it's difficult to use. Another thing we'll be doing the next few weeks is all these trailers come in. I pull the brake drums, clean everything, grease everything. This trailer here we'll be doing a review on, but this one here, it's my second rice trailer. I'm actually, for the money, I don't think you can beat that right now for a tilt deck. I want to paint the brake drums, paint the axles. I try to keep my stuff looking good. I think it does make a difference. That dump truck needs a mega going over as far as cleaning it up. I got to paint the dump body. I want to clean the frame off. That's all mud that's stuck to the oil undercoat from last year. I don't clean out what we do in the rocker panels and all that, but I try to clean off the bulk of that, then we'll re-oil undercoat it before the plow season starts. So, but I just figured this would be part of the video, walking around showing you what I do. I walk down through the property. Another video that will be coming up is we're going to be, I'm actually going to do it all with green lumber because I'm just going to cut the logs up, but we're going to build a building around that sawmill so it's not out in the weather. But all this has got to get organized. Again, last year all the birches bent over during plow season, so we just were whacking them down, leaving them in the tree line. We're picking that up a lot. I picked up what we had to do the road work. In a few places I do the road work on camp roads and stuff. Now I'm going back, and anything that doesn't look like it's straightened up, they want to, this is the time of year most people want to get it cleaned up, because it's just going to bend over again and hit the power lines again, or bend over and block the road. So I'm going to be bringing home a lot of white birch again. And all these mulch piles I'm probably going to neaten up with the little BX tractor I got, get it tightened up a little bit and cover those with a top so the leaves don't get mixed in too bad with it. You can see, looking at the ground, we've been getting real heavy rainstorms. That's making stuff take off. That's unusual this time of year, but that's also probably a sign of what winter's going to be about, so that's sad. But like I said, we gotta do a bunch of cleanup around. And I actually, like I said, this is the first time in quite a few years I've had any free time this time of year, and just getting my own yard cleaned up. You come home with some pavers, a half skid, you just dump them, you drop them off to get them out of the way for the summer. So I've got a bunch of chunks of granite. Right now that's probably close to a $300 chunk. I'm going to say $250 chunk of granite. And these I just want to get all this stuff organized before snow flies. Basically want to show people every day isn't, fancy glorious stuff that I'm glorious stuff I'm doing. But this is part of running the landscape business. And I've also, another thing I did this week and didn't tape it, is I got my winter sand put away down near the house. One of the lean-tos I have, I keep the winter sand in. I didn't tape it, I probably should have, But I just want people to know there's a lot to this business that doesn't show on camera all the time. And I do a lot of work that some people just don't want this stuff taped. I don't blame them. I mean, I don't think I'd want it I'm doing it in my yard because it's my YouTube channel, but I don't think I'd want someone walking around my yard with a camera. So I got through that pile of crap that was here. Mixed it with a little bit of stuff that was on the hill. This is what we ended up with. And this ended up being a pretty clean gravel. Probably like what I'd call a 1/2 inch gravel. Just what was in it. There was a lot of sandy, a little bit of pea stone in it, but for the most part it was big rock, so you end up, which is still a good base. Like I said, I got through that pile. Some pretty nasty rock and some of that. That was a mixture of everything. The back of that pile, it's been a while since I've had the ground this clean. I've just been picking at it, and but I got it pretty much. That's the last of the stone. That's what's left there. We just got to throw in that pile in the morning, but I'll show you up here. This is my throw all lot, but starting to look kind of crappy, so I want to get on top of it. That pile that's left here, I'm going to leave because that's actually pretty clean gravel if I need it for a job. Same thing. This is I back in, dump when I'm digging job sites. I'll bring home 1 or 2, 3 loads, whatever it is. I back in this corner and just dump it. So it was a mixed bunch of crap until I got to this point. That seems to be pretty good gravel, so I'm just going to keep that for next season. This is the rock that I had left over that I didn't sell on that job dressing the bank. Like I said, we got junk steel. It's just it's a throw all lot that I got to get cleaned up and organized. This heavy roofing is something my son-in-law got, and he got some nice stuff, lighter duty. This was with it, and I ended up getting it from him, but I think that's what's going to be on top of my sawmill for a roof. This is one of the things we do when this time of year comes. And I've been saying I was going to clean these lots up and clean all the piles. Like I said, on this lot there was also a bunch of piles of like different, oh, this is loomy, I'll leave it here. I had some down on my bottom lot. Everything right now other than that corner pile of gravel is pretty much cleaned up, which is the first time in like 5 years. Now we got to get tomorrow, today's Wednesday. I told my wife I'd buzz out early with her. Tomorrow I'm going to get on this, cleaning this up. I want all the piles cleaned up. Them logs I'm not going to bring down to the sawmill till I'm ready to cut them. I'm just going to bring them down, cut them, and they're going to be my sawmill building. Figured I'd take a shot where we're at this morning, and the first snowfall kind of sucks. I could have waited another 2 or 3 weeks, to be honest with you. So we're going to end this video this morning. I've got the piles pretty much put up that I want. Still going to look to stockpile some more, but the weather seems to be getting pretty cold fast anyways. We're not getting a lot of snow, but we're getting snow coverage a couple different times so far. But basically this was just stuff we do this time of year. Actually, I don't normally have time to do a lot of this. This year I made time. These logs, I'm still going to try to get them cut up in the next few weeks. It's been cold this week, but they're saying next week I think it's supposed to be in the 50s, so I think I'm going to bring them down, get them cut up. But overall, this lot's is the cleanest it's been in quite a few years. I still got a couple projects. I got a couple oil tanks. I was actually just going to cut up for junk steel, but I'm going to try to make like a outside incinerator with them. Be another video, but like I said, I'm pretty happy where we ended this for the season. I had a lot. I just couldn't believe the crap I had up here. 4 or 5 years of just being so busy, you forget about all the stuff you just back in and dump. I had there's a lower lot too that I haven't hardly had room to turn a truck around, especially with a trailer, so we got that cleaned up. This lot's about as clean as it's going to get, I think, till spring. we're going to be moving on to getting the trucks ready for winter. Put the sander in. I got to oil undercoat them. My 2016 needs a little bit of attention. We're going to put a transmission pan on it, power steering lines, and a couple other things. Clean it up. Needs a little bit of paint work. I'm happy. I haven't got this far with projects for quite a while, as far as home projects for a long time. And using my sawmill is going to seem pretty cool too. We're going to end this video here. Like I said, this was just a video showing what we do this time of year when things slow up. I'd like to do a little more, but the weather's not agreeing with me. The ground's going to start freezing up. This is the second time. It's melted off now, but this was pretty much covering the ground this morning for the second time in like a week. So I'm more worried right now about getting my trucks ready for winter. So that will be the next videos coming up. But I want to show this. People ask all the time, hey, what your everyday operations are and this and that. Sometimes it ain't glorious. Sometimes, like I said, I've actually enjoyed getting things caught up in my own yard. So I hope people like the content. Like I said, this is part of what running the landscape business is about. And I haven't had a chance to like gather everything up for 4 or 5 years, and now I did. I ended up with a pretty good charge of material. So it's well worth doing. Like I said, I recycle everything we bring back now in one way or another. So, but if you like my content, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.